tip number 151 from the book 501 Contractor Tips. Finding the right bank. Now obviously tip number 150 was to try to find the closest bank to your office or your home if this works for you. And of course finding the right bank would be a little more important than finding a bank closer to your home. If you go with the closest bank but the service sucks, that's going to kind of defeat the purpose of finding the right bank. You know, and I think it's going to be more important for you to find the right bank under the right circumstances than it would be to bank with the closest bank. So again, these are things you're going to have to weigh out in your mind. You know, if you have a bank that's 1 mile from your house and on a scale of 1 to 10, their quality of service is at a 2, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and it sucks. But the next bank is a half hour away and their service is a 5. Hey, you can deal with this now, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. You know, and if it gets to the point where the bank that you are banking with just isn't cutting the mustard anymore, they are not providing you with even a low level of service. Just every time you go in there, it's a hassle to cash a check or to deposit a check, or the holds are getting, you know, anywhere. They were at 3 days and now they're at 10 days. You know, then yeah, I understand. It just might be worth your time to find another bank, drive a little farther, stuff like that. Or even find, you know, nowadays we got online banking. You know, this might be the answer to your problem. So, and it's kind of one of those things. I mean, let's just say that you have a bank that's 5 minutes away and they hold your checks for 7 days, and you have a bank that's 10 miles away and they hold your checks for 5 days. What the heck? Okay, I can understand. I'm going to just bank here with this other bank, let them hold my money for another 2 days, and instead of traveling a little farther. And if they hold it the same amount of time, obviously, then you might as well stay with the closest bank. But, you know, don't get caught up in these things like, you know, hey, we're only going to offer you, you know, you'll only need to pay 3% interest on your credit line at our bank. 3%, and the other bank is going to charge you 10%. But you never use your credit line. You know what I mean? These are the things we've got to think about as business owners. You know, we've got to be able to work with the percentages, understand what these numbers are, and understand that we actually are getting a good deal on anything right across the board, including banking. You know, I mean, if you have a bank that charges you 20 cents for every check you write, and you've been banking with this bank for 20 years and you really like the bank, but there's a bank right down the street or another mile or 2 away or even 5 miles away that isn't going to charge you anything, and you're writing 200 checks a year, this could add up. And again, you can justify it, hey, that's just the cost of doing business, big deal. That's fine, I understand that. But if you're writing 10,000 checks a year, this is a problem. And this is what I meant about being able to figure this stuff out by doing the percentages on what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. You're not going to go work for somebody, and they're not going to let you get away with it most of the time. Hey, I'm going to, you know, instead of charging you 10%, I'm going to charge you 20%. They're going to go find another contractor. And this is what you need to do with other services, your bank, your lumber yard, your plumbing supply place, your material supply place. Don't fall in love with these people. You know, if you have a salesman that's been around for years, a banker, you know, you got your favorite bank teller, you know, hey, you've got to be able to kind of put it on a scale and make sure that it's balanced. Because if it's one way or the other way, and it's not something that is really providing you the best, period, service, value, you name it, you cannot get something at a different place for a better deal than you can stay with these people that you're currently with. But you've got to know, you know, hey, you know, they're charging me for writing a check, but nobody else does. It's time to switch banks. You know, these people don't give me any interest on the money I have in my account, but someone else will. Switch, get out of there, you know. So that's kind of what I'm saying about finding the percentages. And as far as, you know, tips on finding the right bank, again, there are too many things really to go over. You know, it's not just the location and it's not just the service. It's a combination of everything that makes sense to you and your business.